We have reached the borders of the country men call Holland. Many elves lived here in happier days, when Eregion was its name. So, I was like, okay, it's time for a little bit of a deep dive into Eregion. And lo and behold, as soon as I scratched the surface on my Eregion deep dive, I realized something interesting. And you know how we always like to kind of pick on, Rings of Power a little bit?
We do. And that will never end.
It cannot be helped. So I looked at Appendix B at the end of Return of the King, and it explains quite clearly why the elves went to Eregion in the first place. And I thought it was quite interesting. It said later some of the Noldor went to Eregion upon the west of the Misty Mountains. This is the second paragraph, near to the west gate of Moria. This they did because they learned that Mithril had been discovered in Moria.
Oh, I see where the problem is. Because Eregion in the Rings of Power has already been established, right?
Right. So what's the deal with this scene where Elrond visits his buddy? Actually, we're probably late to this game. I'm sure other commenters have already pointed out this total inconsistency. But basically, Elrond's like, "Oh, let me go talk to my neighbor, my buddy Durin."
Yeah,
and Durin in this scene, I'm not going to play it for copyright reasons. I'm just going to play it. He's like, "I got something to show you. You better not tell anybody." How do you do the Scottish accent? He's like, "I'm going to show you something. You better not tell anybody."
I can't even do it. I can't do it.
Do Fat Bastard.
Yeah. I've got something to show you. Is that right? I have no idea.
Terrible. No,
that's okay. Terrible.
But he's like, "You better not show anybody. You better swear not to tell anybody. My neighbor who already lives in Eregion. And what is this great thing that he has to share? The secret is
Mithril."
So anyway, non-canonical. Like I said, we're probably late to this game because I'm sure other people have noticed this. But
speaking of Rings of Power, we'll circle back to this, but I'm just going to throw this out there. Shelob's going to make an appearance in season 2. That's what I've heard. But let's talk about.
No. I've heard that too.
I'm going to write the scene right now. Baldric and Sauron are going to be walking up in the mountains, trying to find a good place for Barad-dûr, right? Oh. They're going to be walking, and then Sauron's going to look left. He's like, "Oh shit, a spider!" And then that's going to be it.
So where we're getting this, by the way, just for those curious. So apparently, this information was actually leaked to a Fellowship of Fans fan site, Lord of the Rings or Rings of Power fan site. And it said a younger version of Shelob, obviously younger because it's the second age. It's set to show up briefly in season 2. Exclusive, young Shelob is a character featured in Lord of the Rings, blah, blah, blah. Will appear in season 2 with a small role. So what I was thinking, maybe this is all teasing this Shelob character. Young Shelob, small role. Maybe it's actually getting us all geared up for something like this.
Oh, kind of like Baby Yoda.
Baby Shelob.
And she's going to be cute and adorable. And she's going to eat little baby orcs. And they're going to be like, "No, Shelob, don't eat the baby orcs. Those
I'm not the first to
you."
speculate this. There was a fellow on Twitter that can't even remember who it was. One of the Middle Earth commenters on Twitter. Sorry for not remembering your name, but they said, "Oh, there's going to be Baby Shelob." So you mentioned Sauron,
right?
Maybe he will run into Baby Shelob, and they will have a cute kind of relationship.
Right. Oh my God. Maybe they should have Shelob talk and be like Sauron. Maybe what you need to do, all right? Strong female character, Shelob. what you need to do is you need to conquer the world, and then Shelob can be the mastermind behind Sauron.
the strong women behind the throne. They will emphasize the she of Shelob.
Yeah.
It'll be she.
No, actually, it's going to be they lob.
It'll be Shelob.
Shelob.
If the elves of Linden ended up kind of immigrating to Eregion in order to have access to this mithril,
right?
We know that in Rings of Power, mithril was given this really stupid explanation for why the elves really wanted it, needed it, they needed, because it represented the light of the two trees, and they were fading, and if they just kind of got close to it, rubbed it on themselves or whatever, it would magically have this curative medicinal power, which is really unnecessary. But in real life, in the real canonical world of Tolkien, it wasn't such a stupid explanation. It was simply that the elves loved mithril for its beauty.
Yeah.
And they loved to work with it because it was really good to work with. But there was also almost a spiritual, because there was the light of the Tolkien describes how there was the light of those original two trees in mithril. So by working with mithril, that the elves almost had this a spiritual, it was a very spiritual, almost religious reverence with which they saw the light of the mithril, because they saw it as an echo or as a descendant of the light of the two trees of Valinor, right?
Right.
So what I was thinking is if Shelob is brought into the Rings of Power as a cameo, maybe she could be used, if it's young Shelob especially, she could be used as kind of like a Brillo pad to scrub the mithril. Because look how cute she is. Those little hairs.
Dude, honestly, I swear to you, and I know this is going to happen. They're going to make Shelob his little pet. But there was never that. He did Sauron never had dominion over Shelob. Shelob was
right. It runs parallel to Morgoth's relationship with Ungoliant. So Morgoth and Ungoliant were buddies, partners in crime.
Partners in crime. I don't know if they're buddies.
Right, you're right. Not buddies. Yeah. And that's interesting because, and I know they're going to make some kind of Shelob, feminist, Shelob's a strong woman. You can't mess with Shelob. But that was actually in the Silmarillion because Morgoth like could not control Ungoliant.
Yeah. And Sauron did not control Shelob. It was just like he thought of her. He thought of Shelob as his cat. But am I crazy? And there's like a quote that he's like he thinks of her as
like a guard pet. Dog. But I think he calls her his cat, right?
Right. But he thinks of her as his own, but he owns him like he owns her not. Is that like
that sounds familiar? Yeah, I'm sure that's in there somewhere. But you're right. I mean, there will be some kind of, or there should probably be some kind of recognition that the relationship between Sauron and Shelob is an interesting dynamic or whatever, and that she cannot be tamed, but he still sees her as somewhat his, but she has to be like her own and have her own autonomy or whatever. It will run parallel to the original relationship between Ungoliant and
maybe
Morgoth.
I think you're absolutely giving those writers way too much credit. I think it's, I mean, honestly.
Well, it'll probably just be the Brillo pad then. It'll probably just be like,
it's going to be something like where it's like again, I go back to what I said. It's like they're walking down. It's like, oh shit, a spider. And then they
yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna have Shelob creeping around in the background, and there'll be like Gothic font letters like Shelob pointing.
What was
just
it
like they did just like they did Mordor.
No. It's gonna be like this dumb tunnel, right? Like some kind of name. I can't remember what the tunnel is. It's Cirith Ungol, but it's like some kind of dumb tunnel name, right?
Dumb tunnel, yeah.
And then it's gonna be like dumb tunnel dissolve, Cirith Ungol.
Oh, you mean the tunnel that Adar was building?
Maybe that's it too. Maybe
Yeah,
that would
Adar
be
will
it.
be building this tunnel, and then it'll dissolve
We'll
away,
have
and
built.
it'll say,
Adar will have built this tunnel, and that's where they find Shelob.
yeah. I mean, she's got quite an amazing genealogy in the
Right,
sense
right.
that
She is
Ungoliant is like literally she who destroyed the heaven-like earth that used to exist before before the
right.
death of the two trees. So
That's
she's like this
That's pretty
serious
strong, right?
serious player.
Yeah.
So she's not to be effed with, but yeah. So I'm wondering if they'll really kind of make her dumb, because they take this series. Not to talk so much about Rings of Power, but
Well, we're talking about
but
we're talking about this because there's an interesting. We're sidebarring from our usual quest,
that's
and
fine.
we're talking about
It relates. These things overlap because we are in Eregion. We're in
yeah,
Holland, so we're in the area where Rings of Power was set in
right.
this series.
So it makes sense.
So it makes sense. And we did happen to actually talk about Shelob just a few episodes ago when we talked about Sting.
Yeah.
Oh, and wasn't there this? You said something like in Tolkien or in the books, Shelob bit, and in Peter Jackson she had a stinger.
I might have,
but I think in Peter Jackson she had a stinger, right?
Yeah, she had a stinger, which makes sense.
Seems like it would. But do spiders have a stinger like a wasp though? Or do they just bite?
Maybe we need to call
I know. Shelob, baby or otherwise, will bite accidentally or on purpose Sauron. And Sauron will turn into Spider Sauron.
Right.
He will turn into Spider Sauron and climb the walls of Barad-dûr, and it will be comedy.
Dude. And he'll get what do you call it? He'll be strong like a spider, and he'll be able to jump in.
That's why he has peak human strength.
No. Spider-Man had beyond peak human strength.
That's why he is beyond peak human strength.
I want to say that he could lift 3,800 pounds. Like he was strong. Yeah. Spider-Man has a strength level of 4 in the power grid of Marvel.com, and that means he's capable of lifting many tons, as he's able to lift more than 10 tons on a regular basis. However, in comics, he has been able to keep entire buildings from collapsing due to the strength of his willpower. So several tons, level 4 strength. So that's what Sauron has now, thanks to Shelob.
And Shelob bit him, and that's why.
Right. So
can you imagine Sauron down in the basement of Barad-dûr just racking plates and just doing like lifting?
Where did I get all this strength from? This is great.
Amazing. Bite me again, Shelob. When Ungoliant eats the two trees, she sucks in all that light, right? Where does the light go? She
radioactivity.
That radioactivity is still in her.
Right.
And so her spawn is a radioactive spider.
It makes sense. And honestly, it's probably been tossed around the writer's room of that stupid show. I guarantee you it has.
And that's why that's why go ahead.
Can we make this call right now?
Yeah.
Like, no matter how the reveal is, it's going to be something really stupid, but people are going to be like, oh, wow, look, it's a giant spider walking. And it's not going to be a giant spider. Here's what I'm thinking. It's going to be like a half-grown spider, like a spider that's like the size of
like a VW bug.
No, because that's what she is right now. She's kind of the size of a VW bug right now, ish.
Okay.
Right?
I thought she was more like like a Bradley fighting vehicle or something.
Well, yeah. Okay, well, but she's gonna be like the size of a go-kart. Like like dangerous, but manageable. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
size of a big wheel.
I know, size of a big wheel. Like seriously, our Americanism is coming out so hard right now because
not just our Americanism, but our datedness. I mean, the big wheel. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything that size, like the size of like a big ass porcupine.
I know. It's like the size of the Evil Knievel motorcycle that we got.
Size of a Stretch Armstrong when you stretch it out
Yeah.
to its full.
That Sauron's, but here's what I predict. Here's what I predict, because this is how these people write. Okay.
Okay.
They're gonna be like, Sauron's gonna stumble upon Shelob, and it's gonna like, oh, Shelob, oh, and it's gonna be like baby Shelob, right?
Yeah.
And Sauron's gonna be like, I will let you loose in this cage, and I will give you food and bring you morsels and grow you big and strong through the dark arts, or whatever the fuck. And like completely like pissing all over canon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then people are like, oh, and then I'm gonna have to talk to the stupid idiots at work that's like, oh, did you know that Shelob was grown by Sauron? And I'm like,
nurtured by Sauron. Nurtured by Sauron. This shows Sauron's sensitive side.
Yeah, his soft side.
But what I was saying is, if she's the descendant of an Ungoliant, so she has the light of the two trees and that radioactivity and energy coursing through her. That explains why her bite gives Sauron extra evil powers, right?
Right.
And it also though runs parallel to the mithril like medicine that the elves need. So they all need.
Right.
So Sauron's going to be like. Baby Shelob, bite me again. I need that fix. It's not hitting like it used to. Fix me up with that shit that I love, and then and then the elves, Celebrimbor is going to be like, rub me with that mithril.
Yo. He's gonna be like, Sauron's gonna like be like coming in like all like scratching his arms. Like,
it's like,
Shelob,
baby Shelob, I love you, baby.
Like scratching his face. It's like, hey, I gotta go milk my spider. I gotta go milk her. I need some.
You want a cheeseburger?
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah. So like Sauron's gonna be milking her like I gotta keep my spider powers. My spider powers are gonna get Galadriel back. Oh god, we're going off the rails here, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Like whether or not Shelob makes an appearance, this is like a clever marketing ploy where it's like, oh my god, Shelob's gonna make an appearance, right?
Right.
And like they leaked this thing. I mean, how much cooler would it have been where it's like they didn't say shit.
And of course, but it is. That's why I'm thinking this is all just like a strategy to get people to talk about Rings of Power some more in the off season, and it might not even happen.
To get people that have read the rose like, oh my god, I want to see young Shelob. That's going to be great, which is dumb as shit. But I'm cursing way too much tonight, man.
That's sorry. Okay, but it gives us things to speculate about, and
right. But you know what I'm saying? It's like
mock fodder.
It like no matter what the reveal is, no one's going to be surprised. Like, oh, this is the
right now. No one's going to be surprised because they telegraph these punches so far in advance that like everyone's like, oh, okay.
What's going to probably happen? What would be great? Okay, so here's the reveal.
Okay,
like you're waiting for Shelob, and there's 8 episodes, right? And you're waiting for Shelob. It's going to be like it's going to come down. End is episode 8, and it's going to be turn around and there's Shelob, just like Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens, where it's like you wait and see Luke all movie, and then there he is, and it's like, oh great. And then the next episode or the next season is going to start with Shelob, right?
Right.
And then it's going to be directed by Rian Johnson, and then the whole thing is going to suck. So I'm looking forward to that.